you've been a Cadillac guy forever. Do you think Cadillac has just given up on making cool cars? Do you think they're like, we made this V lineup for a long time, some of the best cars ever, some of the classiest, fastest, coolest cars at the track, most handsome people drive them.
Wow.
And then they're like, not anymore.
You're going to like break your arm from patting yourself on the back so hard, buddy. Jeez.
Well, the CTSVs are weird because first owner to current owners, like if you're like the fifth owner of a CTSV, you're probably doing like a sideshow somewhere and crashed it into a curb. But like the first owner of one is like this upstanding citizen. I'm like third owner. I haven't quite gotten to a sideshow.
You're definitely a tweener. You're a tweener.
I haven't quite gotten to the sideshow yet.
There's still time though.
I know. It's just they're far. They're in California and New York and stuff. But yeah, Cadillac, they're kind of just done, right?
Dude, I don't know. Just judging by traffic and looking at all sorts of different cars that you see in your day-to-day, there's a lot of, you have the CT4 and then the 5 and then I can't even keep up with them.
They look very mundane too.
Well, to me, it looks a little sportier than the average one, but there seems to be more from what I've seen. There seems to be more of them. Now, what sucks though is that the way that they went with the global
tuning software.
Stuff. Yeah. So it's like, while they provided more, they provided so much more security upon it now, of which HP Tuners just got into that, and we'll see how that all works out or not, even though I think that HP Tuners is basically taking your name and number and then handing it off to some sort of government subsidy behind the curtain, so we'll see about that. But I mean, I think that it's cool that we can. I was so, okay.
Wait, let's pause for 1 minute. All right, we're back. GM is making terrible cars. Oh, wait, was I supposed to be a little more subtle?
Okay, so look, I think that there's really, really cool stuff.
Ford's also making terrible cars. Does that help?
Dude, I don't know. Like, I don't know if I don't think I agree. Like, I mean, okay, let me step back because I had a thought before we took a little break there. And this is something that, like, for as long as I'd been tuning, almost as long as I'd been tuning. So basically circa 2002, 2003, all the way up until 2020. Okay. I was able to do the most current stuff. And that was always really encouraging. Hey, we got a brand new car that just came out. I got a friend that has one. Bring it on in. And we're going to start tuning up this late, great car.
Yeah. So like, what were you tuning first? Like what was 2003? Like a GTO?
So that's pre-GTO, but so
like when that came out,
2002, it was like the early LS stuff.
Okay, so
and
like
even
F
then,
bodies,
so F bodies,
C6s,
not even C6s, C5s. So
C5s.
That was right at the beginning of the C5 Z06, and I'll tell you what, the C5 Z06 is still a very impressive car. I remember my first time riding in a C5 Z06, and I was like, "Good God, this thing freaking gets it!" I was like, "This is a fast car. It's nimble." I mean, it was a really, really impressive car. And I mean, that car still with bolt-ons, if you go to a track day, you will humble a lot of cars. Is it the best? Absolutely not. Is it far beyond the middle of the road? It is. It really is.
It's kind of right at this like end of like right before like so much safety had to be involved that like it made the cars heavier and more like cumbersome. Yeah. Like it was this small, nimble car still, and like didn't have crazy amount of EPA stuff. A couple block off plates could kind of just get away from like a bunch of BS. But when that car came out, how quickly from release to like tuning were those cars?
Immediate, almost immediate. That's what I'm saying.
When they launched, it was like you can plug in and...
Yes. So it was like I would have to buy that lump sum of that year from LS1 Edit is what I was using at the time. But I mean, I was the first guy in the middle Florida that had that stuff. And I mean, I was very young too. That was like 21 years old. And it's an incredibly large investment to be tuning those cars. And I mean, by the grace of God, we made a good living doing that for a while. But again, it was so exciting because it was like something brand new just came out and it was cutting edge and you're able to mess with cutting edge. Now, 2020, I haven't been able to do a C8 Corvette. I have one sitting on my dyno right now, and I'm having a little bit of problems with it right now. And I did write a tune for it, and we did get it in, but it's like I'm still having some protocol issues. But, dude, that is now 4 years removed. So that car came out in 2019, the 2020 Vet. 4 years removed from new. So it's like the aftermarket production of stuff has, I felt, been hampered at least, but had stuff been able to be tuned and be able to go farther, we should have seen many, many, many more 1,000 plus horsepower.
And it's not groundbreaking. Like it's on like the engine's already known. Like it shouldn't have been so groundbreaking. Where it's like, oh, you know, like when the LT one came out, that was like kind of like a learning curve.
Yes.
The C8 should have been kind of just like a variant of tuning the Z06.
It is, but the firewall.
C7, Z06.
So basically, what I've understood is that the protocol for communication was written on SHA-256, which is the same language as Bitcoin. Okay, that is the same. So it's like super encrypted.